You've been petting your cat wrong this entire time. And the worst part? Your cat has been telling you you just didn't know how to listen. Most cat owners genuinely love their cats. They buy the good food. They buy the toys. They sit down at the end of a long day and reach out to pet them because that's what you do with a cat you love, right? But here's what almost no one talks about. Petting a cat isn't just about you wanting to touch them. It's a conversation. And if you don't know the language, you're probably saying the wrong thing without even realizing it. Cats don't growl loudly or bark to warn you. They send small, quiet signals, and when those signals are missed again and again, something shifts. They become distant, jumpy, or they swat, seemingly out of nowhere. Today, we're going to look at exactly what's going wrong, and more importantly, what changes everything. 1. The more is more myth. Let's start with the biggest one. Most people assume that if a cat is tolerating being petted, they must be enjoying it. That's not always true. Cats have a phenomenon that researchers sometimes refer to as petting-induced overstimulation. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. A cat can go from relaxed to overwhelmed without much warning, and often owners never see it coming. What happens is this. The longer a petting session goes on, the more your cat's nervous system starts to process it as too much, especially in sensitive areas. And because cats are naturally conflict avoidant, they don't usually stop you right away. They wait, they twitch, they shift, and then, at some point, they've had enough. The mistake isn't that you petted them. The mistake is that you didn't notice when enough became too much. More time doesn't always mean more love, not in a cat's world. 2. You're petting the wrong spots. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. Cats have very specific zones where touch feels good and zones where it genuinely doesn't, even if they let you do it. The spots most cats tend to enjoy: the base of the ears, the cheeks just behind the whiskers, and under the chin. These areas are rich in scent glands, and when you touch them, you're actually participating in a behavior cats use to bond and mark things they trust. It feels socially meaningful to them. Now the spots to be careful with: the belly, the base of the tail, and the lower back near the tail. These areas can feel overstimulating or even threatening to many cats, even ones who seem relaxed. The belly especially. Cats exposing their belly isn't always an invitation. It's often a sign of comfort, but touching it can trigger a defensive reflex almost instantly. So when your cat rolls over and you reach for the belly and they grab your hand, they're not being moody, they're being a cat. 3. You're not reading the pre-warning signals. Cats almost never scratch or bite without warning. The problem is, the warnings are small, and most people don't know what to look for. Before a cat reaches their limit, they typically give a sequence of signals. The tail starts to flick, not a slow, lazy swish, but a sharper, more rhythmic twitch. The skin along their back might ripple slightly. Their ears may rotate just a little, angling backward. Their eyes might go from soft and half-closed to suddenly very focused. Each of these is a sentence in a conversation your cat is having with you. They're saying, "I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. I need this to slow down." When those signals are missed and the petting continues, the next step for a cat is to act. A quick swat, a bite. And then the owner says, "Where did that come from?" It came from 3 or 4 signals ago. You just didn't see them. If your cat has ever swatted you out of nowhere, drop a 1 in the comments. You're definitely not alone. 4. You're initiating, always. Think about who starts the petting sessions in your home. Is it usually you? You walk by, you reach down, you start. And your cat sometimes leans in, sometimes doesn't react much, sometimes quietly walks away. Here's what animal behavior research consistently shows. Cats are far more relaxed and engaged during interactions they initiate. When a cat chooses to come to you, bump their head against your hand, or step onto your lap, that contact is something they opted into. and that changes everything. Contrast that with a cat who gets petted because they happen to be nearby. They tolerate it, but tolerating isn't the same as enjoying. A simple shift. Wait. Let your cat come to you. Extend a finger or a hand and see if they approach, sniff, and lean in. If they do, that's a green light. If they sniff and walk away, that's information too. Letting your cat lead doesn't mean you love them less. It means you're actually listening. 5. You stop too abruptly or go too long without pausing. This one is subtle, but it matters. Cats are creatures of rhythm, of pattern. When a petting session has no natural pauses, no moments to breathe, it can feel relentless, even if gentle. And on the other end, stopping suddenly, mid-stroke, can feel jarring. Think of it like a conversation where someone either talks at you without stopping or just suddenly goes silent mid-sentence. Neither feels right. What works better is this. Build in small pauses. Pet for a moment. Stop. Wait. See if your cat leans toward you. Cats who get those micro pauses tend to stay in contact longer, purr more consistently, and seek out touch more often. The rhythm of a good petting session isn't one long, unbroken motion. It's a back and forth, a gentle dialogue. 6. You don't adjust for each cat. Here's something that gets overlooked. There is no single universal cat. What works for one cat, long strokes down the back, firm pressure, extended sessions, might be exactly what overwhelms another. Age, personality, history, even breed can all shape how a cat experiences touch. Pay attention to your cat, the one in front of you. How do they respond after the first 30 seconds? Do they settle deeper into your lap? Or do they start to fidget? Do they purr steadily? Or does the purring stop? Your cat is giving you feedback constantly. The question is whether you're collecting it. 7. What gets built when you get it right? When you start petting your cat the way they need, something shifts. They seek you out more. They initiate more. They stay longer. They purr with that deep, unhurried rumble that feels like the whole world's slowing down. And that trust, quiet, consistent, built over hundreds of small interactions, is something you can actually feel. Cats don't give their trust easily. They're not built to. But when they do, when a cat chooses your lap, chooses your hand, chooses to close their eyes and relax against you, it means something. It means you got the language right. And the good news is, it's never too late to start. The cats who seem distant, often, they're just waiting for someone to finally pay attention. If this helped you see your cat a little differently, share it with a fellow cat owner. They'll thank you for it.